Kingdom! Welcome back to our Lazyking Speaks, and today we're reacting to a video called Gym Goers versus Body Acceptance. This should be interesting. It's from a channel called, Counterpoint, and I just randomly stumbled upon the video just now, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna react to this, and I'm gonna put this on my Lazyking Speaks channel because I can be a little bit more radical, I guess, in my opinions. I try to be a little bit more safer on my main channel, and this channel is more about, you know, really speaking my mind, because I gotta do that, alright? Sometimes Twitter isn't enough. Alright, anyway, let's hop in. I can already see that, I mean, look what we have sitting right here, bro. Like, do I need to say anything else? Thoughts. Alright, anyway, let's see the first prompt.
People that do not go to the gym or have like a healthy lifestyle are lazy. So
I'm just gonna skip.
I prefer.
I don't wanna get spoiled.
We'll start by having people that agree come up now.
Wait, I missed the prompt. I skipped before. Hold on. Go back.
How sick I am.
Welcome to Counterpoint. I'm your host, Ryan. On this side, we have gym goers, and on this side, we have support.
Why are they so dark? What the hell? Hold on. Here, font capacity, 50%. What the hell? No, 100%. All right, here we go.
Supporters of body acceptance. Being fat or skinny is a choice.
All right. Listen, I already know how this is going to end up, alright? The people that are gym goers are going to say, absolutely, it's a choice. And then there's gonna be people who disagree, and they're gonna say, like, no, it's not a choice. They're probably gonna bring up some dumb, you know, sickness or, like, diseases that makes it harder to lose weight. And then they still claim it's not a choice, even though it is. Even though, you know, just because it's more difficult doesn't mean that, you know, it's not impossible, and then you choose to not do it. So it's still a choice, right? Anyway, let's see what they what arguments they have.
We'll start by having people that agree come up now.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Ooh. One body acceptance guy
my whole life,
is actually here.
Constantly dieting my whole entire life. I mean, at this point now, I'm not wrestling anymore, so I don't have to worry about it as much. But I think it just comes down to the fact of it's just a calorie deficit. You want to consume less than what you're burning. Some people might have it easier. I'm not saying that, you know, like some people might find it harder to lose weight. Some people might find it easier.
In your experience with the wrestling thing, did you always lose weight when you went into the calorie deficit?
Oh, they actually have a mediator in the middle to, like, not derail the whole conversation. Unlike, what's that channel called that also does these kind of things sometimes? That's good, actually. I actually like that there's a person that is likely neutral, assuming, actually in the middle to, like, make sure the conversation doesn't derail or goes to a whole place that it's not supposed to go to. Nice.
Deficit, or was it different each time?
100%. And it might have been, you know, a little too extreme to where it got to the point where it might have been a little unhealthy. But, you know, at the end of the day, I was losing weight, and it could have been because I had a better metabolism than some people. I could have had an easier route, but at the same time, I mean...
My opinion about weight loss, it is always, unless anorexic levels, but he is training, so he's probably having, like, high protein diets. Those diets, well, they can possibly be more dangerous. It is always way more healthy than being morbidly obese. Let's keep it above.
Anybody can lose weight if you just put your mind to it.
Okay, and what do you think about that?
Yeah, definitely a choice. Excluding all the rarities, thyroid conditions, you know, things like that come up. In general, I definitely think that it's everyone's personal choice. Some people do have it harder. I myself, I have a really hard time gaining weight. Super easy for me to kind of drop weight, slim down. But if you're trying to pack on muscle, I feel like I'm eating nonstop constantly.
Yeah, I mean, how much are you eating per day? Like, is it a lot?
I don't count my calories. I just have a rule: if my stomach doesn't feel full, I have to eat.
Okay, fair.
All right.
And how about you?
Yeah, no, I agree with the majority of what you've said. You know, that you can change your diet and really control what your weight does. You know, I've watched it happen with my own body.
Unless you're getting force fed, it's a choice. Like, let's be honest. You choose to eat. It's like, it's such a no-brainer take. Like, you choose to eat, just like you choose not to eat. It's such a dumb, like, stupid thing. Being fat is a choice, all right? It's not like you don't wake up one day and like, oh my god, Oh my God, I just weighed 100 pounds. Like, no.
Over the course of my life, I shared my office with a nutritionist for a year and listened to him talk about things. And, you know, it is very true. You can control that. And there are different genetic effects that can have a play on things, or different conditions that people might have, like you mentioned. But I think we have to also mention the way that our food system is structured right now. Our food system is designed to keep people unhealthy and to keep people fat. And
let's talk about the produce, for example, like vegetables, fruits. They are way more expensive than, for example, a bag of like potato chips, or like frozen fries that you can, like, you know, fry up at home or something like that. Like, it makes sense, yeah. I'm not saying it's not like easy to be healthy. It's not. That's the whole point. Like, if it's easy to do, it's not special. Why do you think like 90 to 95% of people in like Western countries have some form of overweight? You know? Or was it obesity? I don't know. One of the two.
Weight, and to try and make people sick and put them into the medical system, where then they can fall into the insurance system. Like, we have a system that is stacked against people being healthy. If you look...
Okay, yeah, I understand where he's coming from. However, like, that's America, right? He's talking about American stuff. But the UK has the obesity problem. My country has obesity problem. Obesity problem. Majority of European countries have an obesity problem. Like, the only countries that I can think of that don't have an obesity problem have laws that prevent you from actually becoming obese. Like, for example, Japan has laws so you don't get obese. And if you do get obese, you get, like, help to lose weight. You actually need to, like, get a checkup every single year or so to see if you are a healthy weight. Now, whether the healthy is healthy or not, that's a subjective opinion. But at least they have like laws that prevent people from, you know, eating themselves to death. And I think that's not bad. I think that's a pretty good law, because some people just have to be held accountable by a countermeasurement that is forceful enough that makes them do something, like the law.
Get what people looked like with what they were eating when they ate whole foods, you know, 75, 100 years ago, maybe even less. You know, I think it really started after World War II, when they learned how to prepackage foods with a bunch of preservatives to get at the front lines. And that changed the way that our processing of foods was done. And I think since that point, it's become the commodization of the American people. I mean, we're essentially cattle being...
Yeah, why do you think... I really like when I see this, like, post on Twitter, for example. There's, like, this post on Twitter where they are like, oh, look, this hamburger, it has, like, salads, it has, like, tomato, it has, like, beef, it has, like, this, that, this. It's all healthy stuff that you eat, from if you eat it just, you know, normally. But whenever you put it in a hamburger, suddenly it's unhealthy, right? Obviously, they always deliberately forget the sauces. That is like the most calories in the burger, but regardless, it's not the burger. It's the calories that makes it unhealthy. The amount of calories you eat away in one sitting, that is what makes it unhealthy. Just like pizza. Pizza can be super healthy. You can lose weight on eating pizza. But just not the processed stuff that you get from like your local pizzeria. All right, you gotta make it yourself. You gotta, like, you can buy the dough. That shouldn't be an issue. At least here we can buy dough that is just, you know, not full of bullshit. You can buy the dough. You can buy some tomato sauce. You can buy some meat that you want to put on, or some fruit that you want to put on, or some vegetables. Some people put like spinach on their pizzas and stuff like that. And you can just make the pizza and you'll lose weight, because the pizza would probably, like, I don't know, be like 720, 750 calories per pizza. Compared to, like, if you go to like a chain like Domino's, right? Like Domino's has like pizzas that are like 1300 or sometimes 1,500 calories. And American sizes, who knows? Maybe they'll have like 2,000 calorie pizzas. Who the fuck knows? It is really just, you need to understand how calories work. You need to understand how food works inside you, I guess. Yeah. And I'm actually a very big advocate on making schools teach young kids on nutrition. I think nutrition education should be a mandatory thing that kids should learn in schools, because I think it's very important. It's about our health, and our health is, in my opinion, the most important thing ever. Like, your health should be the top priority in your life.
Farmed for all of these different services to compound and rake us for money.
Okay, and I think that's a good time to bring in the rest of us.
All right, so we have one gym goer that disagreed. Interesting.
I think that there's, like you were saying, there's so many disadvantages and ways of privilege that some people don't have access to, like transportation, healthy foods, if they struggle with their mental health or physical health.
That's just bullshit, because everyone has access to transportation. Because you can ride a bike, you know, or you can walk, for example, right? And then healthy foods, sure, it's more expensive, but in the long run, right? In the long run, if you learn how to cook, like, potatoes are super cheap. Like, you can eat potatoes like every single day and you would lose weight. You can eat vegetables every single day and you lose weight. You can even eat meat every single day and you lose weight. It just depends on how much you eat and how much calories it is, right? And if you put some sauce on the steak or whatever meat you got, like, that's fine, right? As long as you know, this is my maintenance calorie, or at least roughly my maintenance calorie. Why is my webcam lagging? Hold on. Okay, cool. We're back. Okay, I don't know why it was lagging for some reason. Anyway. I lost my train of thought. Let's continue.
For any reason, they can't get access to the same kinds of foods to stay healthy or to stay thinner, just for medical conditions personally.
Then go do more exercise. Like, if you don't have, for some reason, right? Let's say you have no way to eat anything healthy whatsoever, and all you can eat is McDonald's, even though that shit is expensive as shit anyways, right? But let's disregard all that, right? Let's just disregard. I'm lagging again. What the fuck? Okay, I know how to fix it. We're just gonna deal with this. So yeah, let's say you can only eat McDonald's. Then, well, go walk. And then some people are like, well, I can't because I'm fat. Yeah, because you made bad choices. But that doesn't mean that you can rectify them. Like, anyway, let's continue until this video is like 3 hours long.
I have POTS, which makes it hard for me to exercise, and also I need a lot of salt. And when I am thinner, it's harder for me to stay hydrated, so I pass out then. But all of those reasons, it's hard for me to believe that it is a choice. Okay,
so all you said, like, it's harder, but that doesn't mean it's impossible, right? Now, I'm not gonna pretend I know all the in and outs on what POTS is, all right? I'm not gonna pretend anything like that. However, she gave the arguments that she needs salt and she needs water, right? Obviously, we all know if you drink salty water, you dehydrate, right? That's why you dehydrate on sea, right? If you are on the sea and you drink seawater, you're gonna die because it doesn't hydrate you, right? Supplements. I don't know, salt supplements, or, you know, just keep drinking water. Like, it's not that hard. Like, look, I have a bottle right here. It's almost empty today. I'm actually being a good boy today. Nearing the 1.5 liters. But like, it's not that hard. Just keep a bottle next to you. Keep drinking. I don't care how many times you need to pee. All right? It's always like, oh, well, if you pee it out. No, you don't pee everything out, okay? A lot of the body keeps it, and everything that you don't need, it gets peed out. All right? Anyway.
Can you kind of explain like what POTS is?
Yeah, POTS is postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. And what that means is when your heart rate rises because your blood pools, and so then you pass out, but it's really important to stay super hydrated and have salt in your system to regulate your blood pressure.
I also have a medical condition called PCOS, it's polycystic ovarian syndrome, and it makes it difficult to lose weight as well. I'm not blaming me being a bigger gal over that by any means. Also, one thing I cannot control is how tall I am. I'm really short, and that's also a part of this body acceptance thing. It's like, that is...
No, it's not. No, it's not. I am also short, okay? Body acceptance isn't about being short, isn't about being disabled, it isn't being about anything. It's hijacked by all these fat bitches that don't want to lose weight, okay?
Something that I can change with only one thing, and that's wearing heels. And yeah, it's...
Whoa! Those are not the heels, bro. Those are stilts. What the hell? God damn. Yo, remember that chipmunk? Like that fat chipmunk from the Chip Pets? That had like heels? Yeah, this one. This one, bro. Look at those. Look at those heels. And then look at these heels, bro. Like, it's identical, bro. Crazy. All right.
Not the most ideal way to live, but like, this is the body that I was born in, and the body that I'm so accepting of other people's bodies, but it's like accepting my own without changing so much about it. It's really difficult.
Yeah, maybe it's difficult because you shouldn't, all right? Some things shouldn't be accepted, all right? Because some things aren't acceptable. Like, it's not rocket science. It's so simple. If you think that something should be acceptable and you ask any random person like, yo, you think this should be acceptable? And they say no, and they give a reason like, oh, well, because it's unhealthy. Well, there you have it. Like, I don't know, man.
I think it all comes down to whether or not we have free will. In today's society, we don't have access to knowledge. And so a lot...
Huh? What? No. Nah, she did not say that, bro. In today's society, we don't have access to knowledge. Bitch, do you know what Google is? What the hell? Nah, this is unreal. Unreal, bro. Oh, my days. What a stupid argument. All right, anyway, let's hear her out.
A lot of us don't realize the foods that we're eating is bad. Whether or not you are eating healthy or you're eating like ramen noodles every day, we truly don't know what's in our foods. Unless you have that ability to break through that barrier of this is me, which a lot of people don't, especially in poverty. Like, we don't have access to therapy, stuff like that. Like, trauma can make a huge barrier between self-awareness and blaming the world. And so a lot of people just blame the world and they can't accept accountability.
Yeah, because they're losers. Like, why should we like accommodate losers? Losers used to be the people that died off. That's how the human race survived. That's how the human race became so superior to every single other organism on Earth. But we built a civilization built on like weakness, and we just have to accept everything. We just have to normalize everything. Like, no, how about we don't?
Which could literally be impossible for them.
If I have somebody that I have to rely on to buy all my food and supplies, then at that point, you don't really have a choice.
What do soup kitchens provide? Hold on, let me see. What kind of foods do soup kitchens provide? Because that's like subsidized food for like poor people, right? Let's see. Soup kitchens generally provide hearty... Oh, let me zoom in for y'all. Soup kitchen provide hearty, nutritious, and easy to serve meals made from donated ingredients. Standard offerings include hot stews, soups, pasta with meat sauce, casseroles, sandwiches, and fresh vegetables. That doesn't sound like the dinner of a loser. All right, that doesn't sound to me as food that is bad for you. If you are poor, right, and they have facilities that provide these kind of accommodations and food, you have no excuse saying, oh, I can't get access to good food, because we already got over it. It's the amount of calories, it's not what you eat. All right, you can even like lose weight on eating only McDonald's. All right, wouldn't recommend it. You'll probably have a way too high of a sodium level, and like you'll miss a lot of vitamins and all a bunch of nutrients that you'll need that you don't get out of McDonald's, but you could, right? Because, you know, in the end of the day, it is calories in, calories out.
It's not like an 8-year-old can petition for emancipation. I mean, he's kind of stuck under the guidance and values of his parents.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
That's why we should punish parents for making their children fat. It should be fined. It should be against the law to have fat children. There's nothing more infuriating than seeing a baby, and not like a baby, you know, I know babies are more chubby than, you know, because it's normal, right? But like a baby that is just so incredibly fat, like Michelin man motherfucking fat, right?
Adult, I guess it's different, but yeah, definitely as young children, and even the teenagers, it's not as much of a choice.
What else do you think makes it not a choice for them?
Gosh, I think of like when I'm like in front of really good food, and just being like a foodie in general, like trying different restaurants. Food is how I bond with people too. Like it's in our society. You go to a restaurant, you eat it.
Yeah, okay, so you don't need to eat bullshit like order a salad, or I don't know, order less. Oh, whoa. Brilliant plan, isn't it? Like, sure, I'm not going to deny that food has very attractive properties. I like myself some nice food too, all right? I'm not one of those people that don't eat bad shit, all right? But I just make sure that I don't eat it all the time. Maybe like, I don't know, once a week. Once a week I eat out. Aside that, I just eat meat and vegetables and carbs and, you know, and some dairy, right? Dairy is good for you, all right? I don't care. Oh, I'm lactose intolerant. Me too, bro. Me too. Doesn't matter. Dairy is good for you. Anyway.
As much food until you're so stuffed you can't eat anymore.
Yeah, maybe you shouldn't do that. Whoa. Oh. Yeah, maybe you should, you know, stop before you're full or about to explode. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know, some discipline. I don't know. Could be.
And that is how I eat almost every day, and it feels like I don't have the free will anymore.
Okay, yeah, but you do have the free will, but you're so addicted to food that you can't resist it, right? And now you're justifying your addiction based on, oh, our society's made or is surrounded by eating dinner because that is because that's social settings. Bitch, you're not eating at a diner every single day. Like, what do you eat at home? What do you have in your cupboards? Is that shit full of chips and like cookies and our sugary stuff? Because if it is, throw it away. I don't know, man. I just can't sympathize with these arguments because they don't make sense. It all boils down to I lack discipline and self-control, and I can sympathize with that. I won't actually. I actually choose to not do that because I won't, because that's only enabling them.
Freaking controls me, and to get up and have that same energy to go to the gym is really hard.
Yes,
where
it
like
is.
The easy thing is to do the, you know, eating until I can't no more.
Yes, true.
And maybe that does make it a choice in a way, but I feel like I don't have the free will to make that choice.
Yeah, you see what her argument is? I feel this, I feel that. No thinking. There's no thinking going on. It's only feel. I wonder why she eats so much.
That makes sense. Do you think a lot more people are feeling that like that too?
100%. Like, it's something that I can control. If I'm gonna choose a salad, you bet I'm gonna put a bunch of dressing on it to make it taste better. Or the burger just looks so good, like here, I absolutely am going to eat that compared to the salad.
Again, like, all she's naming is stuff that she gets from restaurants. Learn to cook! basic life skill, man.
I don't feel like I have control over it, that it does not feel like a choice. It does also feel good. Like the endorphins hit me and I'm just like freaking dopamine high. I guess I could be addicted to crack. If my food is my addiction, which it is, I've wrote like long notes in my phone about how bad my food addiction is. Like it doesn't feel like a choice. But there's no place to go, like food rehab.
Yeah, there is. The hell? Of course there is. Food is an addiction, and there's plenty of there's plenty of places that handle addictions. And you just admit it and acknowledge that you have an addiction, which is good. That's the first step, right? Acknowledging what is going on with you, right? So do something about it. A lot of people will give the advice like, oh, cold turkey. No, the fuck? No. Listen, the first step that is the best step to start losing weight is to reduce the amount of calories you drink, okay? Let's say you drink, I don't know, 5 cans of Coke per day, right? Let's say that. Go to 4. And instead of that 1 extra Coke that you usually would drink, you'll drink water. 0 calories. Or, better yet, if you don't like water for whatever reason, right? You drink the 0 calorie version. I know, man, like, sometimes if there's a will, there's a way, right? And sometimes they say like, oh, if I could. You can. You, right now, watching this video right now, you can. Okay? There is no I can't. And the moment you start doing that in your brain, saying like there is no I can't, you start doing it. The moment you stop making excuses for yourself is the moment you progress. And I'm talking to myself right now too, because my ass also be slacking. Alright? Making up excuses is easy. Like, oh, I'm not going to gym because it's hot. And that's my excuse. That's been my excuse, bro. Like, it's hot in there, so I'm not going. However, I have an active job, right? I have a physically demanding job, so I have my exercise, right? But still, like, I would really like to go to the gym, but it's just too hot to go, right? There's no air conditioning in that bitch. So yeah, anyway. There's no I can't, okay?
It's not treated the same. It's just you're fat and that's your choice. Get up, you lazy thing.
It's
Terrible.
the easiest coping mechanism.
Right.
You know, like I remember having a bad day, like almost weekly the thing was I would go when it was a bad day and I would hit a Taco John's and grab, you know, a big giant grilled stuffed burrito and the pound of potato Olays, a bunch of extra seasoning, you know, because that was like the, okay, you know, like the same feeling people describe of like having the cigarette when they've been craving.
I can't even remember when my last good day was. Okay, I'm gonna be getting a little bit deeper into my psyche here. Okay, I don't remember the last day I had a day I was like, wow, I felt good, because there is no I feeling good in my brain anymore. My depression that's been going on for more than 10 years has physically fucked over every single like form of serotonin and dopamine production in my brain, that I can have the feeling, oh, that was a good day. Oh, I felt good. So what do? I stopped feeling. Because fuck feelings, okay? Feelings only bring you to where you want to go at that moment, and your brain brings you where you want to go forever. Wow, that was kind of deep. Wow, that was kind of deep. Holy shit. Damn, I gotta write that down. Shit.
Kind of thing of like just that release of like, okay, you know, I had, you know, it just set that calm across your whole body kind of thing.
Can I ask you three a question that disagreed?
Yeah.
Do you guys find that sometimes it's a lack of discipline more so than a choice, which can sometimes enable you into making further bad choices? Yep. I find myself with those similar struggles on things outside of the gym. How do you guys feel about that?
There's a fine line between discipline and free will, and it all just comes down onto your neural pathways and whether or not you have the capability to rewire your brain to be like, okay, I can eat this. You know, you can have the Taco Bell, but you have to balance it out with something. Too much of anything is an addiction. If you're constantly eating healthy food, once you get a bite of, you know, Thanksgiving turkey, you're going to overindulge. And I've experienced that myself.
Specifically with going to the gym.
Yeah, because you lack discipline and self-control. He literally just said, do you experience this? And then you said, no, it's actually my lack of discipline and self-control. This woman, man, like, god damn, she might be dumb, bro. Holy.
Like, that is a discipline that I highly admire in people like you. Truly. I tell myself I don't have the time. I'm doing other things. I'm working.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't. I don't think I would have the dedication that it takes. Going to the gym is a choice. And you guys,
absolutely.
I mean, I'm glad that you do, but it's also like not my thing. I've tried it before, and I don't have the discipline to stay consistent with it. So I think that's a good point, Gabe.
Yeah, because you didn't find it fun. You did not find any enjoyment out of it. Normally, when I get to the whenever I go to the gym, I don't want to go, but I'm going because I said I was gonna go, right? And I used to go like 3 to 4 times a week, right? But now, because of the hot fucking weather that is literally going crazy. I mean, let's see, how hot is it right now outside? Okay, it's 28 right now. 28. This is an alright day, but inside of that gym, there's no air conditioning. So that bitch is motherfucking hot, right? But anyway, yeah. So if I go to the gym, I want to go, but I'm going anyway, right? And when I go, I come back feeling like, yes, I did that. You know, I did the thing that I was gonna do. I feel accomplished. If you don't get that from the gym, right? Because I'm going to assume here that you was going to, you know, go to the treadmill. Surely you did some form of cardio, right? Because that's what all people that are obese think that they should do, which is not true. All right, you should start weight training. The more muscle you create, the more calories you burn on just existing, right? That's the hack. If you don't like cardio, don't do it. You think I do cardio? I fucking hate that shit. I'm not doing cardio. The fuck? I'm going to the gym to lift weights. I'm not going to the gym for cardio, okay? Every time my friend like tells me like, yo, hey, I think I'm going to start doing cardio again. I'm like, yep, good for you, man. I'm not joining you. Anyway, so yeah. How about you start, I don't know, go on a bike, drive a bike, play tennis, play any other physical sport. Do a sport you think you like. Like, you don't need to go to the gym to lose weight. You can just do something that gets you up out of the couch or out of your chair and makes you exercise. Raise your blood pressure. Raise your serotonin levels. Lowers your fat calories. What the hell? No, your fat cells, which they don't really disappear. They just shrink, right? But you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me it comes down to discipline. You know, I've been through the points in time in my life where, you know, I've been what you would consider 1% as far as physical condition, and I know that at this point it is a discipline thing. Last year, my wife and I did a 90-day challenge, and I lost 50 pounds in 90 days. So I know if I make the choice to do the things, good things happen. You know, so for me, I believe it is a discipline thing, but that it can very well be my privilege. It's not, you know, I have the means to be able to do it if I want.
Listen, if you're broke, you shouldn't be fat. Because if you're fat, that means that you eat more than the average person does. I just don't get that, bro. Like, if you're fat, right? If you have obesity, how in the hell are you broke? Like, you're getting food from somewhere.
To, or choose not to. And like you said, food is a social thing for me. I have, you know, just today, I had an all-you-can-eat buffet after a work event. I have at least 3 work meals every single week that are all you can eat buffets, you know, because that's our culture, you know, like I'm constantly working with people. It's just part of my job to ensuring other people having meals and enjoying themselves. And food is also like my art form. Like I have a commercial kitchen in my home because I just love to experiment with food, you know, like making all kinds of homemade things. You know, the pandemic was an awesome time because we got to make so many homemade things, you know. I just love to deal with food, and so I've always had a problem with weight because, yeah.
I can see what he's saying, right? He's constantly getting tempted by temptations such as food, right? And that is very difficult, right? It's then very difficult to say no. But in the end of the day, like, if you say no, it's no, right? Like, it all comes down to the discipline again. Like, every single time, it comes down to your discipline. There gotta be a drill sergeant. There has to be a drill sergeant right here in your brain, all right? Beating your ass that's making excuses. And some people just don't have that. Some people need external motivation. Some people need B. Some people need C, right? Like any other kind of option that makes them do something, right? A challenge, for example, like you said, a 90-day challenge. A timed challenge, that means that you can, like, it's all about, you know, putting in effort, but knowing when, you know, when it's over, right? So it's easier to, like, mentally grasp the concept. And he lost 50 pounds, right? Very good. The moment the challenge is over, and mentally you're like, oh, well, the challenge is over, you know, like, it was cool, it was fun, right? I hated a lot of it, but, you know, it's over, so now I can go back to my bad ways again, right? So it's not just, oh, I need to change and, you know, for like a couple, I don't know, 90 days or something, right? No, it needs to become a lifestyle, all right? Health is a lifestyle. Just like being obese is. Obese also lifestyle.
Think back to like access and like how you were talking about how sometimes there are folks that are privileged and can access those kinds of things, but for me and how I grew up, I know that like we didn't always have a ride to the food pantry, and even if we did, the food pantry doesn't offer nutritious food a lot of the times. Also, not only transportation, there is that mental block. There's also physical blocks if you are differently abled and not able to make it to the gym or make it to the store. All of those things are really prevalent in the back of my mind because I've experienced a lot of those things. And so I think it's really important for me at least to remember where I come from, and then also the privilege I have today to make more choices than I ever could.
Okay, so my issue really is with people that say health at every size is that they don't care about their health, and they just keep eating and get fat, and they praise fatness, and they like, oh, look at me, I'm fat and I'm proud, like whatever, right? I hate those people, right? But what she's saying, right, if it's true what she's saying, right, she makes efforts in certain aspects of her life that makes it so that she doesn't become more obese than she already is, right? So at least there is some resistance, there's some motivation, there's some like action being taken to prevent having to eventually cut off your feet because you're so incredibly fat. Yeah, I know, that's shocking, right? Yeah, being obese, if it actually gets really bad, you might actually have to cut off your feet. Worse, you die. Heart stops. Like, nope, I'm done. I don't understand how people can understand the severity of cancer, right? But they can't understand the severity of fucking obesity. Obesity fucking kills. It fucking kills. You can die from obesity. End of your life. Go in a coffin and get buried into the ground. Never seeing your loved ones again. Making your loved ones very, very sad. All because you can't put your fucking fork down. Honestly fucking disgraceful.
access, because it seems like healthy food is the most expensive anytime you go to the grocery store. And so, I mean, I totally understand the access point. I just want to go back. I mentioned before, I wrestled my whole life. I was not a healthy eater. I mean, try telling a 13-year-old he can't have, you know, a cookie tonight or anything like that. And so, I mean, when I was going to high school too, for lunch, I was...
Yeah, but that's another thing. Your parents actually told you, like, yo, you cannot have a cookie. There was actually parents that give a fuck about your health. There's some fucking parents out there that don't give a fuck about their health. They're also obese themselves. And they feed their children whatever the fuck they want. And eventually they end up obese too. Like, it's an unending cycle. And the moment we go to the root of the problem, which is bad fucking parenting, that's when we will solve a lot of the obesity problem. Sure, there's multiple aspects, right? Food is getting processed. The advertisements on food is everywhere. You can't escape it. You're constantly getting temptations. But it should start at the parenting. It should start at some kind of like block or like blockade in the roads, so it would prevent people from becoming obese, such as a law that prohibits you from like exceeding a certain amount of body mass. I really think that would help a lot. Not this generation, not that next generation, but the generations afterwards will definitely profit out of that shit.
Eating an Uncrustable, and I'd always get like a chocolate chip cookie. And so, I mean, it's possible. Like I said before, as long as, you know, you're burning more calories than you consume, you're gonna lose weight. So at the end of the day, I always think it's a choice. And it's not even like going to the gym. I mean, if you consume a lot of calories during the day, and you're like, man, I'm stuffed, I need to go burn a couple calories, you could just go for a walk. I mean, go outside, go for a run, and you would lose weight. And so, I mean, I'm still on the side where I believe it's a choice.
Again, barring medical conditions, every nutritionist I've ever spoken with has always said it really is as simple as how it's being put. I don't say that to cast in negativity, but more so to just spread like, hey, it is possible. And I don't want to enable anybody's mind to think that it can't be done. More as a real positivity thing. Like, you absolutely can do it. And I'll accept that it's certainly harder for some folks, but possible.
Kind of going back to some of the talk about children and stuff earlier, we've made a really conscious decision to make sure that our children are a lot more educated about food, and you know, they understand right now, like, hey, what you're eating is not really healthy, and so they are making the conscious choice, and they understand that right now at their age their metabolism is allowing them to get away with the things that they're doing. We've also seen one of our children very much struggle with their own body acceptance a lot and have a hard time with that, with a lot of bullying and issues and stuff. And so watching them go through that, and you know, we've helped educate them and they've helped improve themselves in ways that they wanted to. I feel a lot more empowered now with everything I have access to. You know, speaking to what you said about knowledge earlier, you know, like I was a kid I was born in '85, so a lot of the stuff coming out back then was new. A lot of these packaged foods were, you know, just coming out with a lot of the newest, fanciest oils and all the other nonsense that they have in them now. And so, you know, I feel like as a parent now, we do have that choice a lot more to actually educate ourselves if we want to. But the problem is there's not a good way to determine if the data is actually factual nowadays. You can go out there and find actually absolutely contradictory sources from fully highly credentialed, you know, PhD level, completely contradicting in the nutrition space.
He makes a really good point here. I think that's the double-edged sword of having too much information nowadays, right? Like the woman said, like, ridiculous notion, of course, right? Like, oh, we live in a society with like lack of knowledge. That's stupid, right? But what we do live in is a society that has so much information that it is hard to understand. Like, if you don't understand the information you're reading, you don't know if it's true anymore. Because there's so many contradictory information out there. There's a lot of like subjective things that are get injected into like truthful stuff. Like, it is very difficult to actually know anything that is actually true or not, right? The best way is still just experimenting on yourself. You're still the best subject. to experiment on. I'm not talking about some nonsense about some drugs or some other dumb shit. No, I'm just talking about your health, okay? I'm not talking about anything weird. I think he has a really good point there.
And so it's really difficult to put the onus on people again when you have a system that is designed to confuse and designed to try and keep people addicted. At the end of the day, it's like so many of our other vice systems. Food has become another vice system in our country.
So as someone I just graduated in 23 of high school, and as someone who's worked in elementary schools, I see how obesity has overtaken the system. When I was in elementary school, we did not have snack time. They have snack time. Multiple times a day, they get to bring their own snacks. And so I see the way that these kids treat each other, and I see the way that they look at food. Being in school too, it's such a structured system. And so when you get the ability to take a break, you overindulge. And so that's just the way our system in America, in the United States, is set up and how it's been set up since the schools were established. And I find it hard to say that we have free will to be skinny or be fat, because a lot of parents don't know how to parent their children due to the lack of knowledge, and they choose to shut them up with food.
That's I didn't know where that was going, but it had some substance at least. Thank God she actually said something intelligent this time. What it was for me in elementary school, we had lunchtime, right? We had lunchtime, we had like break before lunchtime. But what we did was we went outside, play on the playground, right? We had like a 15-minute break and a 30-minute break. Yeah. 15 and 30 minutes, and then we had like a 1 hour and 30 minutes between like school, like at noon was like a break where you could go home if you wanted to, or you could stay at school to have lunch, right? But we played outside, like we ran, we did like tag, we did like climb shit, we actually did like activities, right? We actually physically moved our bodies while we also ate like cookies or whatever snack that we had that our mom or our dad like packed for that day, right? But one thing which is also a thing is eventually they started providing fruit and vegetables for people who didn't have anything. So that was also a very good thing that they did. Now, obviously, that's just my elementary school or middle school. I'm talking about middle school right now. I'm sorry, I don't know the correct terms. I think elementary school is like from 4 is where you start school. Elementary school is like 2 to 3 years old, I think, if I compare it to like the Dutch education system. And then you have like middle school that's like from 4 until like 12 to 13. And then you go to high school, and that's like 4 years or 6 years. Depends on like what kind of school you went to. If you're smart, it was longer. If you're short, then it's as short. And if you're not smart, it's shorter, right? What's it going with this? God damn it. I lost my train of thought. Anyway, next prompt. Here we go.
Fitness can become an unhealthy obsession.
Of course, everything can become an unhealthy obsession. Why is this a prompt? This is a stupid prompt. Nobody should disagree with this.
As always, we'll have the people that agree come up now.
Everyone should agree with this. That's actually retarded, bro. Why did he not step forward? This is the prompt. Fitness can become an unhealthy obsession. It is a thing that can happen. A piano could fall on my head as I'm speaking. It is possible. Nobody should disagree with this. Why did they disagree?
I know for me, my personal experience.
Actually, I'm just gonna skip this. I wanna hear his argument. I don't care about this prompt at all. This is a stupid, retarded prompt. I want to see the argument of the guy.
One disagreeer.
Oh boy, here we go. Here we go.
After everything that was said, I mean, I pretty much agree with, I kind of agree with the topic now. But
wow, who would have known?
Well, could you maybe give us maybe what you were thinking originally when you're thinking like, okay, maybe it can't be on.
He's gonna come with the most nuanced and like personalized shit you can ever imagine, bro. Here we go.
Healthy. Like, what were you thinking?
The thing that I was thinking of is, just the fitness part. I feel like a lot of the things that were said might stem from other things. I mean, maybe like mental problems and stuff like that, or like people were saying social media. I think it could stem from that. I mean, there was a point in my life where I was addicted to going to the gym every day. Like, it was the only thing I looked forward to with my day, and I wanted to go twice a day, 3 times a day, as much as I could. And at that point in my life, I felt better than I ever have. And so, I mean, I was addicted to it and I felt great. And thankfully I never, wanted to get bigger, wanted to get stronger, wanted to hop on tests or anything like that and, ruin my life. Things you guys were saying maybe stem from something else. Maybe there's some deeper problems that are going on rather than just fitness and somebody going to the gym caused all these problems.
No, you're completely misinterpreting the prompt. It could or can become an unhealthy obsession. An unhealthy obsession doesn't mean that it has doesn't mean that it has to be physically negative for you. It could also just impact your social life, right? It could also impact your mentality. It could also impact anything else negatively in your life. Sure, you could say like, oh, well, it didn't happen to me. Like I already said, he's gonna come with a very nuanced, personalized argument here. But the prompt is can. It can, not it will. Like, I don't know. This is a stupid prompt, bro. I don't know why they put this one. This is dumb.
What do you guys think about that? Do you think it's more the fitness itself or the external factors?
I'd say probably more of the external stuff. You're using fitness as a coping mechanism a lot of times to treat whatever it is or try and achieve whatever goal it is, or that kind of thing. And then a lot of the substance stuff, like it comes in as...
Yeah, but that's just being human, though. Like, we all have coping mechanisms for anything in our lives, right? Like, not every single person has the same coping mechanism. On top of that, like, everything has a side effect or has a side reason why you do something. I don't know. This is a dumb prompt, bro. I can't even, like, think on why this prompt is even in here. It's stupid.
Again, not because somebody's a user, but again, because they're just addicted to trying to achieve whatever it is. I don't know. Maybe just in your case, it was fitness only, or was the fitness like because you were like, okay, now as a wrestler, I feel the best that I ever have, that I'm going to the gym 3 times, or was it just like purely because I'm hitting the gym that it was... At the
point when I started hitting the gym more, it was kind of just purely just to hit the gym. I mean, I was going with my brother and stuff like that, so I mean, had somebody to hang out with, and then eventually I started noticing changes, and so I just wanted to keep lifting. It was exciting to me at that point.
Okay, those changes, was that just physical changes, or was it also changing the way you interacted with the world and the way people interacted with you?
I would say a little bit of both. I mean, the physical changes, of course, that's, I mean, what a lot of people look for, but I mean, it kind of gave me more confidence, made me feel like, if I did nothing during the day but hit the gym, that I accomplished, something during that day. So, I mean, gave me a lot of rewards.
Yeah, it produces serotonin, like I already said at the start of this video. The gym produces a lot of serotonin and dopamine, and it makes you definitionally feel better.
Going to the gym.
I think it has a lot to do with your gender as well, because...
Oh, God. Here we go. Alright, I'm gonna air her out, but please don't get some feminism bullshit in here. Please don't do this, bro.
Men can handle, like, higher cortisol levels, and women, we can't. Like, we're meant to have a little bit of fat on our body because, when... in prehistoric times, we were the ones staying in the caves, protecting our children with our weight. And so we would be the ones eating mass amounts of foods. And so when we're constantly raising our cortisol levels, that is just very unhealthy to us, to our brain levels, to our every single nutrient in our body. Like men, you guys can take it, nothing against you guys, but you guys can take it. And I think a lot of people that start their fitness journeys don't know that there is a difference biologically between women and men and how much we can take. So at first I was going 5 days a week, and like you said, it would give me something to look forward to, and I felt rewarded even when I would do nothing. But it affects our bodies a lot differently, as well as, you know, cold plunges and stuff, like just simple things that like add to the fitness journey. Like women can't do so much of that, and I wish it was like more known that we are not supposed to be putting ourselves through that. But yeah, we just can't handle that.
You said that you started to notice.
You're telling me the creature that is female that can get stressed about literally every tiny little thing you could imagine can't handle high cortisol. I'm sorry, bro. I can't take that seriously.
Weren't doing anything else for the day, but you went to the gym, that you still felt good about it. At what point of you lacking on your other responsibilities, but you're only going to the gym, do you think it would still be acceptable, or would you start to dog on yourself?
Yeah, no, I totally understand that. And, you know, I guess at that point in my life, I was just a high school student, you know, so I didn't really have that much responsibilities to really care about. Sure. Or I was in college, you know, and so, I mean, college life, stuff like that, you don't really care about all that other stuff. So, I mean, it didn't affect me that much. But in this point in my life, yeah, if I was on that same, you know, kind of wavelength and going to the gym, not caring about anything else, I think that would definitely take much more of a mental toll on me. So I definitely see what you're saying. Sure. Yeah.
What a stupid goddamn prompt this was. All right, let's see what we have for the next one, which is
fit people are more attractive than plus size people.
That's such a God. This literally just, this prompt was made just to divide people's opinions, bro. There is no correct opinion that says plus size people are more attractive. Because the fact that you have to say plus size instead of obese or fat says enough. Plus size isn't slightly overweight or chubby. Plus size is plus size is the term that they changed obese and fat. You're no longer fat now, you're now plus sized. You're no longer obese, you're now plus size. So no, nobody who's obese is attractive. Here we go.
We'll start by having everyone that agrees come up now.
I like this guy, you know? I like this guy. This guy has a nuanced take on like most of the like pro fitness and health kind of things. Like he's not just a yes man or like a sheep that like goes on like, oh, health at every side, blah, blah. Like he actually has, you know, a brain. I like that.
But I mean, obviously this is a personal preference and opinion question. What makes fit people more attractive than plus size people?
Definitely.
No, that was not the prompt. The prompt was fit people are more attractive than plus size. Not what you think or who is more attractive. That's not the prompt.
I have had friends that like women on the plus side. I've had friends that like women that, to me, look, you know, really small. One aspect other than just the looks alone is I think hard work is really attractive. And I think that most people find people that work hard is a really attractive trait. Whether you're a doctor, a pilot, you're a cop, if someone sees you're working hard, that's a super attractive quality to me. And that really is shown on the way you take care of yourself. I've seen plenty of people that are not fit, they're not fat, they're just kind of a normal person, but they don't really have any other day-to-day activities where they have hard work. And I think the body is a really good very first sight you get to see how hard does this person work, and I think that trait of just hard work is super attractive.
I slightly disagree about like the body says how hard somebody works, because obviously mental struggles make somebody have like extra hard work that is unseeable to the eye, right? So I don't really completely agree, but he has a solid foundation in his argument.
Well, I mean, I think you need to take that hard work may not always present in a physical form, and so.
Bro, I tell you, bro, I like this guy. Yes, this guy is nice, bro.
I know people that are doing very hard work, but it just isn't hard from a physical labor standpoint. But beyond that, I think the first thing we need to do is point out that it's all men up here that agree with this one. Like, I think we have to point that elephant out immediately and say that that's probably something that's societally related. You know, that we grow up, like you said, talking with your friends, some that prefer this, some that prefer that. But I think our friends, especially in sports and things like that, locker room talk, I think there's a lot of pressure on men to have a girlfriend that is conventionally attractive according to whatever the beauty standards are at the time. You know, like, I know that's how I was when I was a kid. I would assume that's how it is. And so, you know, you have a lot of men kind of brought into this system, indoctrinated into this mindset of like, I got to do this almost like a keeping up with the Joneses. My buddies are going to think of me, you know, a certain way if my girlfriend doesn't look a certain way. And so then they condition themselves to think. And then also society's constantly pushing that at us. You know, you don't have different body types shown in different ways. You know, there's very few people over time that have ever broken into the very famous industry that weren't of a conventional beauty standard because they're just shut out. They don't get the opportunity.
Yeah, that's just selective. Like, listen, the reason why there are, I'm not gonna say models are the peak of perfection beauty, okay? I don't agree with that, right? However, on average, most people can see when somebody is attractive. Like, for example, me, I'm not attractive, right? But somebody, like, I can think of anyone right now. I don't know. Somebody. There's definitional. There's factual. I mean, there's factual ways that would call people attractive. One thing I can think of is obviously, you know, clear skin. I think clear skin is like one of the most fundamental beauty standards that there is, right? Like, clear skin, that means that you're healthy. That means that you take care of yourself, because your skin, if it's poor, you eat shit. That's how it is. Then there is bone structure, right? And more importantly, like facial bone structure. Could be very opinionated, of course, right? But there is a symmetry is something most people find appealing, right? So that would also become something that is attractive, right? You have skin tone, right? Some people are very pale, some people are very black, right? And most people would say a balanced skin tone, right? That you can be from Africa, right? But it doesn't mean that you have to be pitch black, for example, right? Like, there's a lot of like brown toned people that are very attractive, right? And then there's like pale people, they're also very attractive. But it is, if you fall into like the balanced aspect of skin tones, that's where it is, right? If you are very pale or very dark, on average, most people will not find that attractive, right? But that is also, it's just, you know, one thing. Okay, so I said skin, I said structure, bone structure, symmetry, I said skin tone, I said I didn't say anything after that. I'm not sure, there's probably something else that I'm missing, but those three are some of the things I can think of right now that would make somebody, on average, if you ask the world, on average, what would people find attractive? It is always going to fall on how clear is somebody's skin, how symmetrical is their face, and how is their skin tone, right?
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, like he was saying, I got friends, you know, who their standard or whatever, you know, what they're looking for is just like really extreme, really skinny, and then friends on the other side who, you know, prefer plus size. But for me personally, it's you know, just someone I can relate to. So, you know, my girlfriend, she lifts and we like to lift together. And so it's just something I like to do with her and she likes to do with me. And so just something I look for and something I enjoy.
Yeah, it's
That does sound fucking very attractive. I'm not gonna lie.
like a bond. For you, you're saying it lies a lot in the bonding aspect.
Yeah, exactly.
The similarity. It's like a strong pillar of your relationship.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
I can say, you know, with my wife, I've been together with my wife for 19 years. So I've known my wife at a range from, you know, like 120 pounds to almost 200 pounds. And, you know, so like.
How much is 200 pounds? Is that a lot? Oh, 90. That's not too bad. It depends on like how tall she is. Like if you reach like 100, I think that's where you like should start to very worry, right? Again, depends on how tall you are, right?
I know that physically, like, I have different ranges of where I feel levels of physical attraction with her. And we've had those conversations, and she's said the same with me, that, you know, when I've had more weight on, that she's been less physically attracted to me, you know, and...
Bro, this guy, he is such a... Bro, this is a man to be aspiring to, bro. Like, this is a guy you should be inspired by. Like... Sure, he might not be super ripped or whatever, right? He's just on average like maybe slightly little bit overweight, but like he has his head straight on his head, bro. Wait, what? No, he got his head straight on. Like, oh man, wow, he's a brilliant guy, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
It's just something that we understand that really, like you were saying, the bonding. It's the true attraction isn't about what we look like. You know, eventually we're going to be old and wrinkly at the end of the day. It's about what kind of a connection you have with that person is really what attraction is about. And I think that's why probably it's also more men up here right now, is because men are conditioned to not as often have that kind of a bond and have that desire to form that bond in that same way, where women, the way that they bond with their friends is much more emotionally connected, whereas with men it's much more physical. It's much more sports and outdoor activities, and you know, it's not as intimate of a bonding situation.
Yeah, I would say probably the most like judgmental people of a young man is another young man, you know.
True.
But I think that's a good time to bring.
Yeah, or his mom. His mom could be very judgmental, or his dad. Honestly, both could be very judgmental. Don't underestimate the judgmentalness of the parents, bro.
Up the rest of us.
All right, here we go. Oh, I don't know if I'm ready for this. I don't know if I'm ready for this. Okay, here we go. Let's go.
I guess the real question is, does the size of someone's body have any pull on the amount of attraction you guys have for people?
It does not.
That's such bullshit, bro. If you have a guy that is like fucking 160 kgs and he can't move and he's like stuck in his bed and you have to feed him every single day, there's no conceivable way that you find it attractive. There's just none. It's just none. There's no way. There's just no fucking way, bro. You're lying.
Been attracted to a particular body type, but my boyfriend is plus size. We've been together 4 years in November, and he is the first person to ever truly look at me and find me attractive, truly. And that's something that I think everyone deserves, no matter what your size is. And it's really a good point that you had brought up, that, honey, we're gonna age. You're gonna have wives with babies that are going to be bigger. And what if like they can't lose the weight? What if they're not fit enough for you? You're just going to stop loving them?
No, but the point of loving them is to make sure that they live their best healthy lives possible. Love is very strong. And if you want to pretend that love is very fickle, it is not. Okay? Love is very strong. It is stronger than hate, even though a lot of people like to acknowledge, like to pretend it's not. It is, right? Because if you truly love somebody, if you truly love somebody, you want the best out of them. You don't want somebody to let themselves go and become like morbidly obese, become an alcoholic. There's probably something more, right? Like, it's just no way. Just no way. No way. can't say I love somebody and just look at them destroy their lives. You can't. You can't. You can't. Either you love them or you don't. And if you love them, you want them not to ruin their lives. You want them to be with you as long as you possibly can. If you say anything otherwise, you're just lying. You're just wrong.
Extremely sad. And because you're attracted to someone, like, I'm not saying people can't have preferences, because obviously everyone has their preferences, but it's sad that someone wouldn't look at maybe someone like me and be like, I wouldn't be willing to give her a chance because of the way that she looks and not who I am as a person.
I know exactly how you are as a person. I'm looking at you, I can tell what kind of person you are. You're somebody that lacks discipline, lacks self-control, impulsiveness. I guess that's the same thing. You eat, right? You eat. Like, that's all I see. Whenever I see somebody is very, very fat, that's all I see. That's your character. Your character is on the outside. I don't care how funny you are. I don't care if you have the same interests as me. I don't care if you have this, that, this, whatever. I don't care. I really don't care, because one of the most unattractive qualities in a person is lack of self-control.
Sucks, because like people wouldn't even get the chance to know me before counting me out, which is terrible.
Yeah, imagine if you just, I don't know, lost some weight, became a good person, and you know, learned some discipline, and you would glow up. A lot of people say like, oh, I'm ugly. No, listen. If you're fat and you think you're ugly, chances are 90% of the time, if you lose the weight, you're not ugly. It's just how it is, bro. It really is.
And I think a lot of people feel that way. A lot of big people feel that way. Like, how am I deserving of love when all of the men just sat down here and said, I'm not attracted to a particular body type? That sucks.
It's not a particular body type. It is a habit. It is a lifestyle. It is a unattractive goddamn lifestyle. You make choices in your life. When people say, I don't find it attractive, it makes sense because it's not attractive. It is not. Nobody who is obese is attractive. Everyone who thinks that or says that is either fetishizing it or lying. There's no in between.
Think that someone plus size could be attractive in your head?
I think it depends on every woman.
Okay, fair.
I don't think every woman has to have a snatched waist. This is gonna sound very shallow amongst the boys, if we're getting truthful. If a girl has a nice waist to butt and hips ratio, I still find it very attractive. It doesn't have to be 23-inch waist and whatever. There's variations of what I'd find attractive,
yeah,
for sure.
Okay, well.
No, that's your fetish. That's not your attractiveness. That is your fetish. That is what you think when you're like looking for porn. That's not that's not what you're attracted to in a woman. That is what you're attracted to in your dick. Your dick says, that's what I like. And sure, that's great if you can find somebody that you're compatible with that kind of body type. Right? That's not your attractive qualities. That's not the quality that you're looking for in a partner. That's the quality that you're looking for to have sex with. It's not the same. It shouldn't be in the same thought process at all.
Well, I just want to keep following up with the people that disagreed. What's your take on it?
I also don't have a preference of body type. I'm very fluid in my dating preferences, and I'm very emotionally invested in the people that I date. So for me, it's a lot about if we have a lot of common hobbies or common interests, not necessarily if we have a common body type.
Like, say you're watching a movie, right? Baywatch, Zac Efron, right? Like, one of the most shredded I think anyone's ever been in a movie on camera. Does that make any difference to you, seeing that versus someone that, I don't know, I guess was plus size? No difference at all.
No.
She's lying, bro. She is god Damn, lying, bro. This is what happened with these people that are like all like health at every size. They just lie, bro. They just lie through their teeth.
Yeah, whoever. I mean,
I guess, like, if I have a preference at all, my celebrity crush is Luke Combs, which is a plus-size gentleman, which is kind of crazy.
yeah, no, that makes, okay.
Who's that? Luke Combs? Never heard of this guy. Right, okay. I mean, he is a perfect definition of if he lost weight, he would be attractive. I'm just saying, bro. If he lost a couple pounds, he will be attractive.
Okay, so that makes a very clear point of what I was asking. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
I got a question for you guys. So if you like went into a bar or something like that, what would make you go up to a person and
Oh, I hate this question, bro. If you went into a bar, you went to a bar, and you went into bro, I don't want to go to a bar. You're not gonna find a good person in a bar. Oh yeah, I met this girl at the club, and I think I'm gonna wife. No, no, you found a whore. No.
Wanting to talk to someone. Like, I've been shut down too many times that I won't ever do it anymore.
Right.
I'm glad that I found my person because I've been told no enough that I'm like, just swiping on Tinder was what did it for me in college. It's the only thing that really caught me through.
Oh, that's also another so stupid thing. Tinder or other dating sites. Bro, listen, you are the product. If a website like that worked, there wouldn't be any people to be fucking matched up with. It has literally been proven that if you get swiped left on, is it left or right? I don't know. If you get swiped to the side that somebody likes you, you can tell I've never been on a fucking dating website or app. It has been proven that if you get too many of those, the algorithm will stop recommending you. Anyway, I don't want to go into like the intricacies of dating websites and how they are fucking trash.
In dating at all. But I maybe they look kind, they look nice. Something catches my eye, like a smile or like a sparkle in their eye, not their body type. It's not the first thing I'm paying attention to.
I can see that. I've seen plenty of women that have great bodies, but they just have a nasty, mean attitude you can tell off their face.
Right.
You're like, I can tell I wouldn't really like talking to you.
Right.
Yeah, but why should I settle for something like that? Why should I settle for somebody who is obese if I can find somebody who's not obese? Obviously with, you know, compatibility and stuff like that, right? Yeah, sure, it will be tough. Of course it will be tough. Why should I settle for somebody who is who has a lifestyle that I actually find disgusting?
Personally, I don't think I've really ever looked at anyone I was attracted to and been only attracted to them based on their body type unless they were a woman. And I've never dated anyone based on their body type. But when you look at Ashley Graham too, she's a plus size Victoria's Secret model.
Oh, I hate fucking plus size models, bro. Fucking hate that shit, bro. Oh, there's nothing more infuriating than fat models, bro. You're telling me there's some fat bitch that's a model. Meanwhile, you have like real models that work out, that like diet to like extreme unhealthy lengths, which I don't support, right? Nah. It doesn't have the same value. It just doesn't.
Beautiful. We see all of these models who are plus size technically, but they look different as well. They still have curves and stuff. So I really do feel like it's based off of genetics. And I personally am a personality person. I've never, I never dated anybody based on how they look. But as well as if we don't have things in common, like now that I am very disciplined and I go to the gym, if someone has negative habits and they don't go to the gym, that's when I would find them unattractive. But if they don't go to the gym and they're taking care of themselves, like I don't really see how that could impact me personally.
So you do look for somebody who's not obese. You can say somebody's taking care of themselves and they're obese. That's what I mean, man. Like, they always twist around the fucking subject. Like, oh, I don't want to hurt people's feelings, or I want to say the correct thing. Fuck that, bro. Just say what the fuck you want to say. Stop lying, bro.
I do think for so long, there weren't as many, you said there's very few people plus size that have broken into industries like that earlier. Why do you guys think that is?
Because nobody wants to fucking look at them. End of discussion.
Of hurt and feelings, I feel like that's where we've gone as society, is we're afraid of, you know, offending somebody.
Yep.
And, you know, I mean, I'm all for, I don't think anybody should be, you know, made fun of, picked on, anything like that, or judged without getting to know them. But at the same
I mean, I disagree on the judge part. We judge everything. I judged the fucking water that comes out of my faucet. That's just dumb, bro. Like, we judge everything, bro. Like, even hell, I got like a bottle of gum, right? I judge on which one looks the best. Like, it just, like, we judge everything. It's not a bad thing.
same time, I feel like, you know, everything we do, it should be for future generations. And so with the body acceptance, it's like you're blasting these commercials and you're showing, you know, all this stuff, and it's like, how is this affecting the kids? And so we want our kids to, you know, grow up healthy lifestyles so they can live long. And so I feel like it could be, you know, maybe a negative impact, and, you know, making sure that kids understand having a healthy lifestyle. Like she was saying earlier, how we might not have access to this information, and it's like, once we take it away, then nobody knows.
I don't think it's truly because the industry has empathy. I think it's because a lot of the laws that are coming into place are now making them put more people, especially people of color too.
Why would you mention that? This is about fat people. This is what I mean, man. Like, I was like, inclusion. Fuck off, bro. Fuck off. Inclusion my ass. How about we exclude? How about we start excluding people, bro? I'm fucking done with including everything. Start excluding people. Fuck me.
Do these roles.
Why were they kept out for so long? Not why are they getting introduced, but like, why do you think they were kept out for so long?
Because nobody wants to fucking look at them, bro. Nobody likes it. The people that do say they like it are either they're fetishizing these people or they're making money out of it.
So long, like having plus size representation in media.
Because there were European beauty standard ideal.
Oh, fuck right off. There were European beauty standard. Yeah, you know why there were European beauty standards? Because we actually had a diet that supported it, and we created life forms that duplicated it. No, not duplicated it. Copied it? I don't know. At least, like, we produced a good quality person. High testosterone in men. Feminine woman. Masculine men. I already said feminine. Kind women. Like, we produced them. We raised a good generation, or not one, many good generations of people to make the European beauty standard. We structured it. We alienated everything that was bad, and we kept everything that was good. Aside of blonde hair. Blonde hair is another thing. If you know, you know.
Beauty standards that they wanted everyone to look like. So
also, that's such bullshit, because back in the day in like Roman communities, it was so attractive to be fat because it meant that you had money. Like, women were fat in the like those sculptures, right? They were so fat, but it was attractive because that meant that they had money, that they can eat, and that was attractive. That was a virtue back in the day, but that is anymore, because nowadays, if you are fat, that means you just poor. No, not poor. That just means you have poor self-control. That's what I want to say.
Like, going back to what you're saying, now they have to include like the diversity hires or whatever, because they never thought about those people before.
Yeah, because why would we? Normally those people would die off. Normally those people wouldn't fucking replicate. Not replicate. Fuck, what's it called? Reproduce. We are reproducing the wrong people, bro. Me included. All right, look at me. I'm 5'7". My parents were also short. You shouldn't be replicating when you're 5'7", or whatever. My dad and mother was. Like, we shouldn't be doing this. All right, we should stop reproducing inadequate people. And we haven't been doing that because people nowadays, we just let everyone, whoever the fuck we want, reproduce. Any idiot that can make a baby, right? They just ruin the whole fucking line. The whole fucking line of people that survived to the day of today. Back then, going through multiple decades, multiple millennia of our species to end up here just for them to fuck it up.
Like, they never thought about fat people. They never thought about people of color. They thought about the people that were the majority, or they thought looked the best. So they included those people. Like, that's why it's been so long without a lot of inclusion, because they didn't like how the other people looked.
I don't think it's necessarily only because they didn't like about, how they looked. Being in the modeling industry too, a lot of the clothes that they make are specialized for one size. And so if you don't fit these measurements, you're out. And so for a long time, it was just, you had to fit, 24, 22, whatever. And if you didn't fit those, you wouldn't even be able to wear our clothes. As well as they taught us that Europeans are the majority, which with percentage, they're not. It's really just about money and power. Who has the availability to buy these clothes like Prada and Mugler and all of these things? It's people who, it goes back to slave times, who has old money.
We have now arrived to the conclusion that fashion is now rooted in slavery. Wow. I can't with these people, bro. I really can't. I can't believe how dumb these arguments are, bro. Oh my god, bro. Oh my god. Listen, man, the truth hurts. Inadequate people should not fucking live. Or, not that. Inadequate people should not reproduce. Alright? We should mandate who can produce and who can't. Alright? We don't live in like a live or die situation anymore. That nature handled it itself. We're now living in a society where any idiot can make a baby.
And that's Europeans.
Well,
oh, we're gonna blame the Europeans. Great. Blame the Europeans. Yeah. Yeah, because we have been poisoning your food. Fuck out of here, dude.
It's exactly that. It's money. I mean, it's a capitalist society. So why have they been kicked out before? Because they didn't feel that there was a monetary gain to include them. Now
True.
they do. Now they feel the pushback. Now people have the ability to stand up and make.
Now they're profiting of these people anyways. So they just became a product. They don't give a fuck about you. Nobody gives a fuck about you. If you think somebody gives a fuck about you, they don't. Aside, at least I hope, like your immediate family or friends, right? I hope those people actually care about you. But anyone else, nobody gives a fuck about you, bro. Not your boss, not your like service provider, not your mechanic, not your local grocery store clerk, I guess. I don't know. Like, nobody cares. And the moment you start acknowledging that nobody gives a fuck about you is where you get actually, like, you can understand how the world actually works.
Their voices heard, and they're hearing people saying that they want to see that representation, that they want to see clothes on models that look like them in stores, not clothes that look like European beauty standard in stores that don't actually give them a realistic picture of what they're going to see. Like, people want to feel seen.
Women, you have to clarify. This is about women only. Men don't give a fuck about this unless you have low testosterone and you're a bitch.
And they feel seen when they see people that are like them, that they feel that they can relate to. Realize that it's a monetary gain at this point to put that in there. Like, I don't think they're, like you said, it's not that they have empathy.
Yep.
It's that they realize they can make more money and get us to be their better little consumers if they give us a little bit of what we want sometimes.
In royalty times, a lot of the symbols of wealth was bigger people. It's just such a double standard. I don't know when we switched to, you know, you have money, you're skinny. Because if you look...
This video is frustrating to watch, man. Oh my days. I wonder why we switched from being poor means that you're now fat. Back in the day when they were wealthy, that meant you had more food, because food was a scarcity. Scarcity? Is that a word? Whatever. I don't know. It was a minority. No, that's not a good term for that. It was not abundant, let's say it like that. Yeah. Food was not abundant. So, people who were rich had more food, making them fat. They became fat because they had more money and they could buy more food. People who were poor could buy less food, so they were skinny, right? So eventually we came to a phase in our existence where food became more readily available for people of all classes, right? Rich, middle class, poor, right? Because we started making our own food, and then we started selling it, and then, you know what else happened, right? So that's why it's not a double standard. It's just the world changed, and you're not talking about 1900s here. You're talking about like 1700s or some shit. Like that's more than 2,000 years ago, bitch. Like, you think the world doesn't change in 2,000 years? The world changed in 10 years, in 5 years, in 2 years.
Greek statues, they were thick women. And now we're seeing the complete opposite. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but I think that's an interesting topic that we have to consider.
No, this is a topic that just is bound in ignorance. Not a topic you should be discussing. This is a topic you should be Googling at home before opening your mouth about some stupid shit like this.
There are also entire stores dedicated to women built like me. I can only find like a bra really that'll fit me at Torrid, which is a plus size women's store, because it's not exactly made for me until I go to a place that is, and I'm like, fine, they'll get my business. And then because they realized that they could capitalize on people who were bigger, and that fashion in general wasn't made for larger bodies, they decided, well, we know where we could put our money into getting fashion.
Yeah, how easy is it to literally pull money out of the insecure women that are fat? Of course. So easy, bro. Like, it's fucked up, don't get me wrong, but like just think. They don't care about you, bruh.
And like models that are plus size wearing these clothes too. Just because I'm bigger doesn't mean that I shouldn't also look nice.
Actually, yes, it does. You shouldn't be obese. Just period. You shouldn't be obese.
Money on my clothes. I also wanted to make a point of the very first thing that was said over here during this prompt is that people that do not go to the gym or have like a healthy lifestyle are lazy. So far from beyond what I actually.
What else? What are they then? If they're not lazy, what are they? What are people with no healthy lifestyle? What are they? Explain.
Live. I work a lot. I put a lot of time and energy into the career that I have, and to think that someone can take a look at me from across the room and say she's lazy because of the way that I look is so sad. It's truly so sad, because I work a lot and I do a lot of things that pertain to me, my relationship, and my family, including fostering 2 children. Like,
oh God, she's a mother and she's obese. Oh God.
Crazy that someone would just take a look at me from a glance and say she's lazy. I'm mad at that. It's so sad that society has brought us here.
Yeah, because it's generally true. Sorry to hurt your feelings, but it's just facts.
To separate those aspects of your life into boxes, fostering children, I'm lazy, I don't do that, I don't help with that. That's certainly something that someone said to Gabe, you're lazy at that. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Working a lot, not making time. I work 14-hour days and I still manage to go to the gym. I work, it'll take a toll on my sleep sometimes, sure, but I have to be willing to take accountability and say, well, I was lazy at this. I think the people that don't go to the gym have to be willing to take accountability and say, I was lazy at the gym today. Did I go? Doesn't mean you're doesn't mean your entire life is lazy. Doesn't mean that it'll take away from those other aspects. But we do have to be willing to take accountability and say, I did these good things. You mentioned earlier I did these things. You'd have to take accountability and say, I was lazy about my fitness today. The same way you have to take accountability from yourself and say, I was lazy about my other responsibilities today.
But do you think, interestingly, do you think
Self-accountability. I don't think any fucking woman has ever heard of that shit before.
when you look at someone and you're like, okay, do you actually sit there and think this person's lazy about the gym or this person's lazy? What do you think in your head?
I guess I really do think gym, but I do see why other people, I mean, like I said earlier, it's a visual representation of who you are as a person.
Yeah, like that one's easier to call out versus like, Gabe, you're pretty lazy fostering kids. Like, how would I ever know that, right?
Exactly, you wouldn't, but that doesn't mean that I couldn't be lazy in those aspects.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that I couldn't be lazy in family time.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter, bro. You show yourself in a certain angle, in a certain manner, and people are just going to assume things about you because on average that would probably be true. And also, why would you care what somebody thinks about you when just looking at you? Why would you give a fuck about somebody's opinion that is just a ignorant assumption about you? Who gives a fuck? I don't.
Or my other commitments that I talk to people.
The word fat is offensive.
Oh, nah, that's crazy. Oh, please let them all just disagree on this. Please tell me that nobody's gonna say fat is offensive. There's no way.
Start by having the people that agree come up now.
Why was it exactly the two people I expected to fucking walk forward? Oh, here we go. Here they're gonna twist the narrative. They're not gonna say fat is offensive, but being called fat is offensive. Yeah, here we go.
The word fat, what about it makes it offensive to you guys?
It is the word that was ever first used to me to describe me in a negative way as a kid. And that's just kind of always stuck with me.
Well, clearly it hadn't stuck hard enough because you're still fat.
I haven't taken it and twisted it into like a positive where you can describe me as fat and I won't see that as offensive, because I do. Like, the first thing that you should use to describe somebody shouldn't be fat or thin at all.
Actually, it should be, because that's how you look. And how you look is the first impression you give somebody.
It again just sucks that the word fat is used in such a negative connotation.
Because it kills.
That I find it offensive. Absolutely. But
Yeah.
thin isn't used in the same way.
It isn't. Yeah, you're saying like if I was fishing, I was like, oh, like that's a fat bass. Like somebody would be like, heck yeah. Or if I'm like, that's a real thin bass, they'd be like, man, that ain't. But then when it comes to like humans, it's the context. It's always given with a negative connotation, huh?
Yeah.
That makes sense. Okay, and what do you think?
Because obesity kills. I'm not gonna say it again.
Initially, I thought of like our humor, and I think as humans, we bond with humor. One of the first like jokes that I heard when I was younger and that we used to say all the time on the bus is, yo mama's so fat, whatever. And I like would be like, before we play this game, y'all better not say that. Cause my mom, she's overweight. Everyone in my family is. So I've grown up, that's the immediate target, and those are fighting words. And so I don't.
Yeah, well, maybe you shouldn't be fat then. How about that? It's not about height, not about your facial structure, it's not about your skin color, there's nothing about anything that you can change that you were born with. This is purely because of your own actions.
I think it's just a word. I think it's what surrounds it. And I think as kids, like, we're automatically taught that we can make jokes out of people and we can use other people, and regardless of their circumstances, other people's looks as a way of leverage to make the room laugh. And I just think that we need to think about humor in a different way, you know?
Yeah, we should take everything less seriously. How about that? Listen, we should make a list about things that we cannot joke about, and the rest is fair game. How about that? Should we just make that? And I think people's deaths I don't think you should joke about that. I don't think you should joke about... I mean, there's definitely some jokes you can make about death, though. That could be funny. Okay, let's rewind, all right? I'm gonna take back my statement. How about we are going to make intentions care? Like, attention scare? We're gonna care about the intention behind jokes. How about that? I think that's a better way. Yeah, let's go with, oh, this guy is just joking around. Or like, this guy is pretending to be joking, but he's dead serious. How about we start like looking closer about that intention. If the intention was to make somebody laugh and it failed, then sure, you know, too bad. It didn't make you laugh, right? But the intention was good. But if the intention was to make somebody upset, I think that is important. I think we should go for that. Intent.
It really does just bring me back to my childhood. I realize that this is not therapy, but it brings me back to like the first time someone was ever mean to me on a playground. It was because I was a chunky third grader and they called me fat.
Yeah, blame your parents. Your parents make you fat. You should be mad at your parents, not the kid that called you fat.
And it really did stick with me. It's so incredibly unkind. And today as a society, we have got to be kinder to each other. And it may not be offensive.
No, we're too kind. We're doing too much. We should be more mean to each other. We should be starting to tell the truth to people's faces, no matter how painful that can be. Because clearly, being nice and kind has turned us the wrong way.
To somebody else, but you should be well aware of your surroundings and who you're speaking to saying that word. Because people do use it as humor.
That makes sense. Now that we know kind of where we stand with it, I think it's a good time to bring people that disagree up now.
Here we go. I'm amazed that she didn't say it was offensive. I'm actually surprised about that.
To me personally, I mean, the fact that we can, use the word and call other things fat makes the word itself not offensive. I think we can all agree, depending on how a person uses the word, it can become offensive. And I feel like that can be said for a lot of words out there. But I feel like the fact, like you were saying, you could say a cat's fat, you could say, a lot of things are fat, and that word is not offensive. I feel like it's just the way you use it.
I think, like you said, though, with it being humans, I think there's a difference there because, like you said, people have feelings. And, like me personally, yeah, I don't find it offensive, but I don't find anything offensive. And so that I have to understand is a me thing, not an everyone thing.
Like I said, man, this guy is a man to be inspired to be, man. Bro said, I'm not offended by anything. Like, nothing offends me. Wow. That's crazy, bro. Couldn't be me.
Use it because I understand that general societal norm is it's offensive. I understand that. But for me personally, it's not. I don't care. Like, if you call me fat, yeah, I probably am. Yeah, I make good food. Shit happens.
I know for me, the word fat is not offensive unless it's directed as a slur.
Yes. Intent. Let's go. Yes. Here we go. Hold on. Okay. I'm ready. Let's go. Hit it.
I know a lot of fat folks in my sphere like to reclaim the word fat instead of using words like morbid or obese. They prefer the word fat, and I prefer the word fat because it describes what I am, not a category that doctors are putting me in to describe how sick I am.
I'm so disappointed. You can jump around the whole thing all you want, but at the end of the day, it is very much important to know how sick you are.
I know that there's a new movement going around in the body acceptance sphere that is called fatagories, and what it describes is the different levels of privilege you have based on how fat you are. And so there's things like small fat, mid fat, super fat, and death fat. And death fat was coined in 2008 to describe folks that are so overweight that they're at risk of dying. And so this is a way that we're
Obesity. Oh, we just came back to the obesity. Wow.
Claiming a word such as the word queer, how queer used to be used very derogatory as a slur for LGBTQ folks, but now we're saying...
Now it just means retarded.
And identifying as queer to reclaim that word. So that's how I feel about if it's offensive or not.
I have a question. Can you tell me what category of fat I fit in?
So it's based on your shirt size. Okay. So if you are a 1 or 2X, you are small fat.
Okay, hold on, let me see. 1 or 2X. 1X in European size. 48 to 50. No, 1X is not equivalent to large. A 1X plus size garment that is larger, wider, and cut differently than standard sizes. Large is 42 to 44. 12 to 14. 1X is 48 to 50. It goes above extra large. And most people that are not like very tall will never wear an extra large shirt. Can't even imagine. So if she's gonna say like skinny fat or whatever on X2, that's crazy. Yeah, small fat is X2. What the fuck?
3 to 4X, you are mid-fat. 5 to 6X, you are super fat.
Nah, that's, hold on.
So that base...
Hold on. Okay, what is 6X? 68 to 70. How much on average would someone weigh that wears 6X in kg? For a young child, 25 kg, I don't know how, is that normal? I don't think it is. 25 to 19, how old? 6 to 7 years, oh, that can be good. Adults, here we go. Holy fuck! 145 kgs to 180 plus! And that's not even that fat, even though it is. You already can die on this in this weight category, bro. Depending on your height, of course. Oh man, this is crazy.
This is based on what level of privilege you have in the world. So someone in a small fat category may not struggle getting on an airplane. But someone in a mid-fat or super...
They will struggle to be in an airplane because they're fat. Airplanes aren't made for fat people. Unless you're American. Because American Airlines have actually accommodated you stupid bastards.
Fat may not be able to use even the airplane extender. So that's where that comes in and like the privilege.
Yeah, that should be an indication that maybe you should start losing weight. Huh? Losing my mind, bro. This video is crazy.
Levels of like what fat means to different people.
You think something interesting, like you said, privilege, right? Like, so if somebody is less fat, then them being able to get onto an airplane is a privilege, or?
No, it's not.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, and what?
No, it's not. That's not a privilege. You're withholding yourself from a privilege. That's not the same thing. Something a normal sized human can do, but you can't because you're fat. That's your own fault.
Do you guys think of that?
You know, a lot of things in life are privileges, and you know, with being overweight, in my opinion, I think that's something you can control yourself. So if you feel like you're deprived of this privilege, you can
gain the privilege back. How about that?
Change yourself to enjoy that privilege.
At death fat, are people? Is this like what I see on shows, like where people can't walk or things like that?
Typically, it's over a 6X.
Okay.
So
that's more than 180 kgs, by the way.
Is where people maybe couldn't walk, couldn't get out of bed.
Hold on, let me see. No single subject number of standard weight is instantly deadly. Okay. Severe starvation. Yeah, we understand that. No, we want severe obesity. Okay. Here we go. The critical stress points, such as over 250 kg to 300. What? What? Nah, that's... Okay, lowest weight that could kill you. 93 kgs if they're 150. Yeah, I can see that, yeah. 160, 106, and 178, 127. Yeah, that makes sense. I can see that, yeah. So yeah, like you could tell, like this. Oh wait, this is a man. A man. Okay. But yeah, you could like the weight and height ratio is very important. That's why I hate when people say like, "Oh, my girl can weigh under or I can't weigh above certain amount of like weight." Like, bro, depending on their height, that might be her healthy weight. You know? Anyway.
Couldn't take care of themselves, and so that's where you lose that privilege of being able to care for yourself. And that's why you're in the category of death.
Yeah, and then you restrict somebody to actually take care of you. Literally enslave somebody just because your fat ass couldn't stop eating. It's disgusting.
Fat because you are at risk of dying because of your weight.
I feel like when you see the show, like with people that are quote unquote death fat, do you have any knowledge on how people end up at death fat? Like, is it usually a health thing, or is it, because I feel like I haven't really seen very many people.
It's enablers. People around him or her enable this person to eat ridiculous amounts of foods, and they can say no or can't stop because they have terrible self-control. That's how.
People in my life that are at that, you know, it's just sensationalized. Like, could it be related to trauma, something like that?
Absolutely. I think that for me, I can only speak from my own experience, but the reason why I'm fat is related to trauma, related to medical issues, it's related to mental health struggles, it's related to access, it's related to a lot of different things, and
lack of discipline, no self-control.
Could put me in the category of one day being death fat, but I'm trying my best to like become a better person and like have a better mentality and stuff like that. So yeah, I think anyone in one day could end up death fat. It's just these experiences you go through and what type of toll that takes.
No. You allow yourself to become that fat.
On you.
Part of you has to wonder if we're trying to create the society from WALL-E at times with how easy we make it for people to access things, though. Like, that's, you know, you say you don't see people that are death fat. Well, that's because now we have DoorDash and Uber Eats and every other service under the sun. You know, a lot of that was accelerated by the pandemic and being forced to stay at home. People can get everything delivered directly to them now. You know, there isn't that requirement to go out and get it, and so you don't see people that much anymore. And a lot of them may make the choice of like, I don't want to go out because, you know, there's that trauma associated with what if XYZ happens when I'm out because of, you know, my size, and then now, you know, that size becomes the center of attention. Because I think when you're talking about how does somebody get to that point, I think the only way you get to that point is if there's
nobody that is behind the door of no return. Nobody there to make sure that you don't open the door of no return. It's why I say, if you can't listen to anyone in your life, or you don't have anyone in your life making sure you keep on the right path, I guess the law just has to. Some
kind of a mental illness happening for some reason, whatever that is. Like, you don't get there without having, I would think, almost like a desire to hurt yourself. You know, been through some kind of trauma that has you feeling unworthy of something, or like that is the way that you cope with things. Like, there has to be some kind of underlying something that could push you to that point. I don't think you're going to get to that point unless you are really struggling with something and need professional services. Like, and I think that's, we need to just do better with, period, as a country, is professional services for mental health. And, you know, I think it helped with a lot of things.
And physical health as well. There are folks that may have something like lymphedema where they cannot move, can't get out of the house, or agoraphobia, which is a mental illness, but it's another reason why people just can't get out and can't move, can't go to the doctor or anything like that. So I think all of those are different reasons why people end up.
Those people should just die off. Like, we kill dogs for less. Like, let's be honest here.
You mentioned, like, I guess this might not be a term, but the death fit category. You mentioned people that inject themselves, take things to the next level.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that has to be fueled by something similar.
Look at Ronnie Coleman, bro. Bro is insanely destroyed, bro. Can barely walk. He looks horrible. Oh, absolutely. Abusing steroids. Oh yeah, that's totally fucked. Absolutely.
Right? I mean, if it's on the same parallel, it's just going to a complete other extreme. You think that's maybe people that end up doing things like that and end up suffering, you know, fatalities from that? You think they have something similar trauma-based going on?
Obviously, I'm not a medical professional, but I have heard...
That's also a choice, blasting steroids through your brain. Yeah, that is a choice. It's not a good choice, right? But there are ways to do it healthily. But they will always take years of your life if you don't, if you abuse it too long, right? For example, I think the previous IFBB Pro, got his name. Oh, that's the Dutch guy though. Yeah, that's the Dutch guy. I forgot his name, but finally found him. Chris Bumstead. I don't even know what my fucking train of thought was. Oh yeah, he started like, or he stopped doing steroids and stuff like that, and like competing to you know, take care of himself because he wanted to live long, right?
My 600-pound life, people like that, watching those shows, I've heard people mention it's a mental thing, and you have some mental issue that's driving you just to non-stop eating. And yeah, similarly with the over-obsessive fit people, they have body dysmorphia was mentioned. Those things are also really negative when you're pushed to that limit. And yeah, death fit can absolutely be a thing.
I put myself in some risky situations, and when you're talking about death fit, you know, I went on multiple steroid cycles to try and, you know, ascertain certain goals, both in attracting the female gaze as well as mainly trying to ascertain certain fitness levels for what I was doing with the military. And it felt like it was
yeah. Yeah, military, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
You know, kind of accepted or almost celebrated by the culture. You know, I was doing it at a time where, I mean, this was like 2005 to 2007, and so I'm ordering things online from Eastern European places that are, you know, being shipped through mail in weird packaging, and, you know, I'm taking anabolic steroids, and I'm taking, you know, different estrogen blockers, and I'm taking histamines and different things to try and cut weight, and, you know, doing all sorts of things to try and achieve what I thought I needed to achieve. There is a little bit of like maybe a mental thing there of me, you know, having such a desire and such a belief that that's who I needed to be, that I had to, you know, the risks that I was putting my body through were worth it. You know, like I remember during certain steroid cycles where being in a lift and feeling like I was about to tear the skin on my arm because of the amount of extra pump that I was feeling through the muscles during it. You know, and that's part of why I don't like the gym now, because I have a lot of trauma with the gym of like how much it was like at one point it was threatening my career. You know, like I had to get to like try and get myself to a place. I was in the 75th Ranger Regiment, so we had a lot of higher expectations, you know, as far as what we had for physical standards. I felt like I had to do this or I'm going to lose my job, and I would rather hurt myself, you know, to keep my job and keep things for my family, because, you know, you're a single income earner, you know, 23-year-old parent, 22 I guess when he was born, but you know, you just have to do the things that you have to do. This was all things leading up to when I met my wife. It was all things for me to like initially pass the test. So I got in a program where like I had a 6-month window before I was actually gonna have to pass it, and so then during that 6-month window, that's when I was doing all these things to try and reach this goal at the end, to, you know, get through this hurdle, to actually get through all the physical requirements to get there.
Yeah, those were some dumb decisions you made, man. I'm not gonna lie. Those were some pretty dumb decisions you made, but thank God. Thank God you are on a better path now. Very good.
And yeah, just put myself through a lot of danger because I thought that's what I needed to do.
To kind of go back to that main prompt, when I'm reading an ingredients list and I say trans fat, saturated fat, nobody stops me and says, whoa, you can't say that. I said the word fat, but nobody, you know, if I say some racial slur, anyone's say, whoa, it's messed up. But if I read those without malice, no problem. I work contract security. Someone comes on to a property they're not supposed to be, and they say, who was it? What's he look like? I say, it was a white dude, fat guy, he's going northeast. nobody stops me and says, whoa, we can't say those things. It's just a descriptor. But if I said something like, oh, dude, I hate that guy, what a fat piece. We all know, well, he's intending to hurt that guy. So there's many situations where the word fat has no malice. It doesn't mean anything negative. It's only what we're implying that's negative.
Yep, intent is always is important. All right. Last goddamn prompt. Holy, I'm looking at my recording and I'm on 2 hours and 24 minutes already. God damn. All right, hit it.
I'm satisfied with my body right now.
Okay, that's a good prompt. I think that's not a bad prompt to end on. I would disagree. So let's see what they say.
We'll start by having everyone that agrees come up now.
Okay.
I mean, I guess the only way I can go about this is just saying, what do you love? Why are you satisfied with your body?
Growing up with body dysmorphia and only being seen for my body put me through mental turmoil for so long. Being obsessed with the idea of being fit or having a big butt or having a small waist. And then I am so blessed to be able to have an open mind and see I'm literally fine right now. I can choose to be happy right now. And if I end up, getting bigger muscles in the future, I'm okay with that. But for right now, I'm happy where I am and I don't need.
I just accidentally, happen to gain a bunch of muscles. I wouldn't mind. I don't really care. What is that, bro? Yeah, if I just wake up one day and I'm I'm super muscular or something, I wouldn't mind, but I'm happy right now. Sounds like a lot of bullshit. But anyway.
Need to be this or to be that to feel.
I think she's still trying to be satisfied with her body. And I don't think a lot of people would actually ever achieve that fight. I don't think you'll ever be satisfied. Being satisfied is one of the most difficult and almost unreachable goals somebody can ever try to achieve.
Satisfied with who I am right now.
Okay. I guess that's a good time to bring in everybody else. Has there been a point where anybody here was ever satisfied with where their body was? Or has it just been a continuous thing forever?
Nah.
Yeah, for me, it's been a continuous thing. I'm definitely not as fit as I was in the past. But even when I was in my best shape, I still felt like I could be a little bit better. And, it could be a bad thing. It could be a good thing. At the same time, I think once you become comfortable in something, that's when you stop improving.
Yep.
And so to me, it's always good to be uncomfortable.
I think for me, it's probably just been that struggle of just always, having issues with how I look, never feeling comfortable in my own skin. I've been super athletic, played all the sports, done the high-end army things, been able to do crazy stuff. And then I've been really obese. And I don't think at any point in time I was ever happy, but I don't think that it correlated either. I don't think that has anything to do with weight.
I think the way that people could describe their bodies as being satisfied with their bodies is, I think the scale should be, do I function on a acceptable level? Am I healthy? And do I feel good? Right? Because some people they can be a lot skinnier and feel better, and some people can need to be a little bit less skinny to feel better, right? Some people just aren't really built to be under, let's say 15% body fat or something like that. And some people are built to be under 6% body fat, for example, right?
I think that conversations like this where we sit down and we force these subjects out, I think these were probably something that were much more common among people years ago when we didn't have our devices in our hands to be able to talk to each other instantaneously. We actually would sit around and have a drink after dinner and have these conversations and actually go deep on things, and
Probably since the 3rd grade, I have never been comfortable with my body. And now that I have, big girl adult money, I'm doing things to change myself into a way that I think like I will feel my best. And there was never like an appropriate time where this was going to come up, or I thought maybe it would earlier, and I don't want to feel like I'm hiding it from anyone watching, but I've been on a weight loss GLP-1 medication for the last 2 years. I've been on like a semi-glutide blend from a med.
Sounds like you're getting sold a bunch of bullshit because it should take 2 years to lose weight.
Spa here in Omaha, and I've lost 60 pounds. And I am happy with that because I feel better, like my back doesn't hurt, which I appreciate. One of the most vulnerable things that someone can talk about is their weight and how it makes you feel.
No, it's not. The only way, or the only reason why it would feel uncomfortable is because you're ashamed of it. You're ashamed of your weight, which is fine, because you should be. Otherwise, if you didn't feel shame, you don't care. You don't care. You don't care about things that you don't care about. But you do care about things that you do care about. And when somebody mentions something that you care about, that's when shit happens,
I'm worried that I will never be satisfied. Like, I've done the laser hair removal to get rid of my dark hair. I'm on a weight loss medication to make myself look thinner. Also, it makes me feel better. And like, I pay for these things with my own money that I work very hard for. So it's hard to be on the body acceptance side when I'm so accepting of other people's bodies. Like, just because it's not the first thing I notice about somebody at all. Like, I truly just think the best things about people are what's on the inside. And I wish I could see that a little bit more in myself. Again, I probably need therapy, but I wanted to be honest with you guys because I have been losing weight for about 2 years now on a Ozempic blend.
Awesome.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of bad things about Ozempic. It works too well to have no side effects, and now everything is starting to roll out. Like, seems there to be like some hollowed bone issues or whatever. Like, it could be fake news. I have not really delved into it too much, but like, I don't know, man. Like, a weight loss drug that works too well. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Thanks for sharing that, and thanks for being vulnerable.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting for me because, like you said, like, I will be the first person to accept anyone as they are and not focus on someone's body. But for me, it's not necessarily that I don't love my body or anything like that. It's that I struggle with like the happiness, being happy with my body. I think it's fine for me to accept my body and be neutral without having to be positive about it. So that's where I disagree with that. I feel neutral about my body, and that's okay for me.
I think it's Terry Crews said it best, happy, never satisfied. I like that mentality personally. I've changed my happiness. It no longer comes from my body, but the work I'm putting in. Like, am I at least trying? Am I at least putting the effort in? Can I be happy with that? And yeah, I can. Do I make my weight? No, but am I trying? I am trying. So my happiness is more derived from that. Satisfied? No, I'm not satisfied. But I'll also never be satisfied. And I'm okay with that because I know that's what's going to keep me driving, pushing to achieve more. And I take that aspect to every other aspect of my life too.
This has been another episode of Counterpoint. I want to thank you guys for watching.
Oh, okay, that was the video. Wow, what a video, man. Oh my days. Oh my days, what a video. Let me see one of these comments. What do they have to say? Saying we don't have access to knowledge in 2025 is crazy. I know, man. That shit was insane. No one wakes up one morning jacked as hell or fat as hell. It takes repeated, consistent actions over a long time. Yep. Body positivity is accepting things about your body that can't be changed. Your nose, height, lips, eyes, etc. That's correct. Oh boy, oh man. Every time I read, like, as a woman, I'm just gonna think this is gonna be the most retarded shit you can ever imagine. As a woman, I don't feel represented by any of the girls in the panel. Holy delusion. Oh, it's actually, wow. Especially with her claim that prehistoric women stayed in caves to avoid cortisol spikes, biologically and anthropomorphically incorrect. Archaeologically, evidence shows that prehistoric women performed these intense daily labor. Yup. Do you know how tough it was to do laundry back in the day? There's no way women weren't resistant to cortisol. That's crazy. Gathered the majority of their community's calories. Community's calories? Okay. And active hunting big game. Also, cortisol is a vital hormone response for mobilizing energy during exertion, not a metric of male stamina. Correct. While intense work temporarily raises cortisol, consistent exercise actually optimizes the baseline stress response and metabolic health for both sexes. Prehistoric survival demands immense physical resilience from everyone, like the myth of the passive cave-bound woman has been completely debunked. Yeah, true. It's actually like been proven that women were actually very competent hunters back in the day as well. They weren't only just gatherers, they also were hunters. So when the fifth girl then woke up in the first question, I already had a bad feeling. Yeah, true. But like she was a double agent for the other side. Yeah, almost, right? The second she didn't stand up, you knew exactly where the rest of the conversation was going to go. It's like she was just there to give a move and a bad name while presenting to be the fitness team. Yeah, I didn't think she was very, like, she wasn't nuanced enough to be interesting either. Like, she didn't have like any nuanced like opinions like the guy did, but I don't know. Sitting there having this conversation about how victimized you are while eating enough for 3 people a day is the most privileged thing I've ever seen. Being fed a choice because I'm a foodie, yeah. Saying you don't have a free will to choose a salad over a burger and fries is crazy. Dude with the bandana seems like a good human. Absolutely, bro. He's a legend. I have PCOS, so it's hard to lose weight. I eat until I am so stuffed I can't eat anymore. And I eat like that every day. Right. Yeah, there's a couple inconsistencies in their stories, that's for sure. Please don't say women can't, just say you can't. Absolutely, bro. Don't generalize every woman just because you feel something. Stop feeling, start thinking, bitch. Anyway, that will be the end of this video. That was quite a long video. Hope you enjoyed. It was a pretty tough watch. But I do think it was some interesting points were said by some people. It's just unfortunate that most of the women were very brain dead for most of their arguments, and I don't want to like say like, oh, women are dumb, right? Because I don't think they are, but like these women are dumb, bro. These women were dumb. All they said like, oh, I feel this, I feel that, I feel this. Yeah, no wonder you're fat. If you keep saying, oh, I feel this, so I gotta do this. Anyway, with that being said, let me know what you thought about the video in the comments below. Leave a like, subscribe. That's about it. Take care.